Hey Gemini, welcome to Aria Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading. For anyone with Sun, Moon, or Rising in Gemini, it's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started. So we have the Four of Wands. Okay. Okay, so the fifth chakra is all about communication. And the funny thing about this is dolphins also make me think of communication, because dolphins are known for their ability to communicate with each other through like a bunch of different crazy sounds that they make. They're really quite fascinating creatures, but they actually communicate with each other a lot like we do as humans. So they don't only communicate through sound, but they also communicate through a lot of nonverbal gestures. So this could be an indication that this person is trying to send you some kind of subtle message. If you are in communication with this person, like if you find yourself in physical proximity with this person, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to communicate with you in ways that are nonverbal, like ways that they just wish or hope or expect you to pick up on, giving you a certain kind of look, a subtle glance, and maybe you do pick up on some of this stuff. I feel like for you it might be that you can never quite be sure if that look meant what you thought it meant, or if the way that they were acting or behaving around you, if there was any significance to it, but you kind of feel like there could be sometimes. I think this person is focused on communicating with you, whether or not that is verbal communication. This energy here that I'm getting from this person is all about being expressive. So what's on their mind is how to express certain things to you, how to express their feelings to you. This person really recognizes I think that like they're seeing that if they aren't able to bring this clear and holistic kind of communication to the situation, that it's not really going to be possible to form a truly deep connection with another person in general. And yeah, I think that you've helped them to realize that. Like the way that they feel for you is helping them to realize that. But it's something that they're just learning overall in their lives. Like if I can't open up, if I can't express, if I can't communicate truthfully and honestly and like completely, then it's going to be really hard to connect and to form the type of attachment that this person's really, like, they're starting to realize that they want that kind of attachment. They want that depth, and it's going to be really difficult for them to achieve that unless they learn to challenge themselves to open up a little bit more. It's like they're starting to recognize their shortcomings in the area of communication and in the area of expression. And they're starting to rethink their approach now. So a lot of energy being directed toward that throat chakra. It's actually kind of making me lose my voice, which happens a lot in readings because I run my mouth constantly. But this is the first reading that I'm doing today, so like I usually am not losing my voice right away. So this is definitely that person's energy coming through. Maybe they have a little bit of a blockage there, but it seems like their attention is being turned towards this area, and like they want to put some love into it, like they want to put some work into it. So they're looking at it, they're noticing that they have this problem with communication. You know what else is coming through is that this person, they really have dreams, and maybe even like daydreams as well. So waking dreams, I would call them. They have these dreams or these fantasies of how they're going to open up to you, how they're going to talk to you, how they're going to communicate, what they're going to say, and how you're going to receive it. It's like it feels like they're very optimistic about it with this Four of Wands here. They're really optimistic about how things are going to go when they finally open up and how you're going to be receptive to it. It feels like these are just kind of like movies that they play in their mind. They're fantasies, but I do think that they're rooted in some sort of reality. It must be something that they're picking up on from you. We were talking about nonverbal clues, and I think there's like kind of an exchange of information going on between the two of you, even if it's not through verbal communication. There's some kind of nonverbal understanding that happens between the two of you. So, yeah, they kind of like, they run the scenarios in their head. They think a lot about coming across a different way to you, about being able to express themselves in a different way than they have before. And it's like they just really wish that they could do that, so much so that they're kind of like fantasizing about being able to do that. They fantasize about having the courage to share some of these deeper emotions with you. So there's a lot going on in their internal world that feels almost intangible to them. It's like they want to find a way to harness all of it, all of that, and make it a little bit more physical by putting it into words. It feels kind of abstract right now. It feels like just all these thoughts in their head, and if they could just bring them down just to the mouth. Like, it's kind of an odd energy, but it's like they are in a place of challenging themselves just to bring these ideas down out of their head and just to the place where they can express what they're feeling to you. And it's kind of like, it's a bit of an uphill battle for them right now. You know what the issue is with this person, and I can tell from this dolphin energy, they're like a little bit too smart for their own good, and they can sometimes get in their own way because they tend to analyze the situation too much. They turn it over and over and over in their head so much that it can start to feel like it's just massive and like it's overwhelming. So in a lot of ways, the intellect can kind of like, they can kind of let the intellect take the lead, like take the driver's seat, and it stands in the way of their emotions. That logical part of them kind of acts like a barrier to their more emotional side. It's very likely that they are more emotional than they seem at first glance, and whether they're aware of it or not, they are able to pick up on subtle energies, and then after they've kind of sensed things, they try to make logical sense out of what they have sensed. Can we say sense any more times in a sentence? But what I mean is they can pick up on things that maybe sometimes they have like a hard time putting into words, or maybe some people wouldn't even understand it if they put it into words. And they can throw a lot of doubt into the equation by trying to be so analytical, and by trying to use this very logical side of themselves to kind of like categorize and sort through the information that they gather. And in the process of that, it's like they'll talk themselves out of emotion. They'll talk themselves out of feeling emotion. They'll talk themselves out of believing that you feel emotion for them, all because all this brain power is kind of getting in the way, you know, because this kind of stuff, this isn't the stuff we think our way through. This is the stuff we feel our way through. And they just let that intellectual side of them kind of take the lead there, which is understandable, because I think we live in a world where the intellect is valued over anything. The intellect is what is praised. You know, people who can pick up on subtle energies and who can just kind of feel their way through things are usually kind of thrown into this category of like being ditzy or being weird or something like that. So I can understand how this happens, like how they want to lead with a more logical side. They want to make sense of it. They want to like have the facts. And I think in this situation, they can feel like they don't have all the facts, and speaking up about it without having all of the answers like all clear, it can be hard for them, especially if they're really practiced in this. Like if they're like a super, like a really astute learner, studier, very good in school, or somebody who works in a field where they have to use this analytical part of their brain. It's like they're very well practiced when it comes to that sort of thing. When it comes to the intellect, they rely on it, they fall back on it. It's always there for them, it serves them. But in this case, we need a little bit more emotion, and they kind of feel a bit out of place when we're talking about emotion. So I think they're talking themselves out of what they felt a lot. They're just trying to be way too logical. Sorry if you can hear all that noise. I don't know what my neighbor's doing, but let's just ignore them. I think in a lot of ways this person doesn't allow themselves to like really see and like pick up on and value all the ways that they've impacted you and how special they've become in your lives. So they are not giving themselves enough credit here, and I think that's where this logical side is kind of coming in and I want to say doing them dirty. Sometimes the things that come out of my mouth, I'm not really sure why, but I feel like this logical side a lot of the times isn't serving them in this case. So it's like they won't allow themselves to realize that they are really special to you. And whenever they have the feeling that that's true, they logically talk themselves out of believing it, and that's really holding them back from expressing all of that to you, because they just don't believe that it could really be true. They take it like, well, that's just a silly feeling I had. That's just a delusion. It's a fantasy. So they really will pull back from that. The thing I really love about this dolphin energy, though, is that dolphin energy is really fun. It's like super playful. And then we have the Four of Wands with the sunflowers, another really bright, playful, fun energy. So I think that in a lot of ways, they can see themselves opening up. They can see themselves becoming more free and more open with you, because that's the energy. And I think that's probably that, like, when they go into their heads and when they're kind of fantasizing about how they're going to speak their mind and they're going to show you, like, you know, everything that's going on inside of them, they have a really optimistic quality to this. So that's good. That's good, because they can see themselves being in this more free state with you. They can see it being fun, and they can see it being easy with you, and having that open dialogue and being expressive. That could be because the two of you have a lot of fun together, or you've had a lot of fun together, and they kind of like, they know this about you and them. They know this about the connection. They know it's easy. They know it's good. They know that it flows freely. So they're always going back to that in their minds, just how easy it is and just how well it works. And they're finding themselves imagining like what it would be like to have a deeper bond in this connection, and imagining that, I think imagining this whole scenario really puts them in a state of joy. So even if you are not like in contact with this person, you're really playing a vital role in their lives. I think that they're playing a pretty vital role in your life too, but you're like able to bring them so much joy even without like always being right there next to them, or even if it feels like there's some space between you because the communication has gotten a little bit flawed. There's still this joy that this person's experiencing just because they have you in their life. So that's actually really beautiful energy. I think that for some of you, there might be something in particular that this person wants to celebrate with you, or something they're looking forward to celebrating with you, like a birthday, or they want to be with you to celebrate some kind of major accomplishment in one of your lives. So they're kind of imagining like how great it would be to be with you on that special day or during that special time. And they're imagining being able to be their full selves, be their true selves when that happens. So yeah, for some of you that will resonate, because there's something like upcoming that maybe the two of you planned to do together, or it would just be really cool if the two of you could like join up for this, you know, and like celebrate your birthday or celebrate a graduation or something like that. It just feels like there's an event in particular this person wants you around for. It could also be that they're just imagining what it would be like if you were there, like during those special moments, like during the holidays or something. Like they kind of imagine being able to have you right next to them during those special times. Maybe even when they're with their family, like showing up to these events with you, showing up as a partnership, you know, like this is where they go in their minds. So let's look at the tarot. Let's see what's up. I want to see like a little bit more about the connection. We've looked at like what's going on in this person's head. So let's see. Okay. We have the Hermit. And I dropped a card. This is why I sometimes just shuffle off camera, because cards go flying. So let me get that. Okay. We have the Hermit. We have the Seven of Swords. I think that Hermit energy is very appropriate given what we've talked about. Okay. Yeah, I'm dropping a lot of cards today. And you know, the thing about that is when the energy, like when there's a lot of messages that want to come through for you, I'll often have that happen. And the funny part is, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about kind of blocked communication here. So I'm not surprised at all that cards are flying all over. It was way too many for me to take. But I think there's a lot that hasn't been expressed. And this person has this like desire to just kind of unload it all on you. So we have the High Priestess. Yeah. The Queen of Wands. Let's get one more card. The Four of Swords. So all your cards came up upright, which is kind of interesting with this energy. Let me look at all this. This person wants to come toward you. Like, I'm just feeling that kind of thing. As much as there might be hesitation and some kind of resistance, they want to explore this with you. And I think that was kind of clear from the beginning with this fifth chakra energy. They want to communicate. They have something that they want to say. All this Swords energy, it really, again, it's making me think about this idea of communication with this Seven of Swords, the Four of Swords. It's bringing me right back to communication. So this might be somebody, for some of you, that you haven't heard from in a little while, or someone who worries that they might not have been authentic with you. And I think, yeah, we were kind of picking up on that. They don't feel like they have communicated everything to you. It's not that this person was lying. I don't think that they were lying. I think it was more that there was so much more that they wanted to express to like give you the full picture, and they don't think that they did a good job of doing that. What's really standing out to me is that you're showing up here for this person as the Queen of Wands. Beautiful energy for you to come through as. And we've got this repeated sunflower theme. So in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the queen is sitting like in a chair, a throne. It's a throne, but there's a sunflower present there too. So that imagery is repeated here. And we had this Four of Wands sunflower thing going, and we've got this sunflower kind of, it kind of shows up like a crown here. With the Queen card. It's not really on her head, it's sort of behind her, but it's sort of acting as her crown. So it's like, this is great energy. This really means that this person sees you as somebody who's very vibrant. Like we were saying before, somebody who brings a lot of joy to this person's life. You kind of light up their world. And sunflowers symbolize a lot of things, but some of those things are happiness, optimism, just like the dolphin, that kind of energy. And sunflowers can also, funny enough, be a symbol of honesty. So there is something this person really wants to get off of their chest when it comes to you. And I think another thing I want to point out is sunflowers are like also a really strong theme for me of loyalty. So this person is coming through as someone who's very loyal to you. They're very loyal to this connection. Even if it's been a while, like, it feels like something that they don't want you to doubt. They don't want you to doubt their devotion when it comes to this connection, but it's just that they do have a hard time expressing some of their deeper emotions. Those are the things that they keep hidden from you, these deeper emotions. But you're kind of showing up. you're kind of showing up as like the one bright spot for them when I look at what's going on here. A lot of these cards are very, very dark. It's not necessarily that the themes of them have to be dark or negative in any way, but it's just that your presence is like a diamond shining, like in the middle of whatever. Like it can be in the middle of chaos, it can be in the middle of darkness or despair or loneliness. It's different for everybody, but you're showing up as that bright spot for them. I think what I'm seeing here, especially like with this Seven of Swords, this person recognizes the risk associated with showing you their heart, and I think that's what's getting in the way. With this Hermit energy, they're in a place of searching their mind and searching their heart to find the truth. But the idea of exposing that truth to you can feel really, really scary to them. It might feel like a little bit of an ego death to them as they go through this process, because they're going to have to leave this old version of themselves behind in order to become as vulnerable as they want to become when it comes to this connection. I think they just always find themselves questioning if they can trust it. So it's kind of a repeating theme of this questioning, this doubting. They kind of doubt themselves. I think that this is someone who's been let down before. They've been tricked before, or they've had their vulnerability exploited before. So it's almost like they keep a lid on it. I'm just gonna hope that this makes sense, because this is how I'm seeing it. They keep a lid on it. They keep their deeper emotions tucked away in a safe place because it's risky to give another person access to it. And they're reflecting and they're reconnecting to themselves, because in the process of trying to keep their emotions hidden from other people, I think they're starting to realize that they kept their emotions hidden from themselves. So they're going through a process of rediscovering all of that, because they haven't accessed some of these things that you have kind of like brought out in them in a while. They weren't really sure how to get back to a place where they could understand what was going on. So it's worked for them. Like it's a little bit of a challenge to do that. But they're getting in touch with those feelings again, and you are showing up as this one bright spot. I think you're the inspiration for them to do this uncomfortable work. And it is uncomfortable, so I don't want it to sound like you're to blame for it, but you are the inspiration. You have inspired them to do this, because if they didn't see something special here, there's no way they would put themselves through this. Like, they would just keep the lid on it because that's so much easier than opening up the pot or the container or whatever it is that we want to call it and letting everything out. Like, this is what they've worked towards. Like, it feels like they've worked toward figuring out how to keep that lid on, how to maybe even seal that lid real tight, and potentially even hide the entire container. You know, it's like, I can maybe glue the lid on and then I'm going to bury it somewhere and nobody will ever find it. And if they do find it, they won't be able to open it. Like, it feels like that's kind of the energy. And now you've stirred things up for them. You have, you've kind of like presented a situation where they're in a bit of a pickle because they want to open up to you, but it requires accessing all of these emotions that are kind of uncomfortable for them, I think. So let's get some messages from your person before we close out this reading. So we'll just get some messages. Find out what this person would say to you if they could, or if they would say these things that are the most important. So we have, I am afraid to contact you. Yeah, I'm picking up on that. I'm picking up on a little bit of fear here about reaching out. And if you're not in contact with this person at all, then yeah, when they have all these fantasies and all these dreams about how they're going to come forward, what they're gonna say, but at the same time, the idea of actually doing it is kind of scary. And if this isn't someone that you're not in contact with at all, I would take this card to mean that revealing some of these deeper things is scary for them, which we've already discussed. I hope that you can forgive me one day. Wow. So, of course, it's different for everyone. Some of you might be in a situation where this person has done something to hurt you, or they worry that they have done something really, really deep and really painful. I think the energy I'm picking up on most of all from these messages is that they don't want to let you down. They don't want to reach out with something that can't be complete. They don't want to disappoint you, and they have some guilt for like wasting your time in a way, because they doubt themselves. So they don't want this to be a waste of time. They don't want everything that you've gone through to be a waste. They want to be able to show up the way that they know you need them to. And I feel like even if they haven't done something like so deep, they feel like they did, because they kind of want to put all of this in the past, and they want you to like be forgiving toward them when it comes to however much time you've waited for them to open up. I think they are feeling like they should have gone through this healing process faster. But everyone is on their own journey, and everyone's doing the best that they can. And I do think that you understand this. I think that there's a really like loving energy that you have towards this person. So I'm pretty sure you would understand all of this. But it just feels like a conversation that needs to be had. And it feels like a conversation that they want to have with all this throat chakra energy and the dolphin and everything. It's like, this is what they want to say. This is what they want to communicate about. And if they would, you would be able to reassure them that like, it's not a waste of time, that like, it's okay to go through this process, go through this journey, and that, like that there's enough here. There's enough feeling here. There's enough love here for anything to be forgiven in terms of taking time to heal. I don't think that would be like so hard for you to forgive, but it would require them opening up. So yeah, they just need to do that. So I think that I will leave your reading here. That's all the messages I see for you. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards and hanging out with me today. If any of these messages resonated for you, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and let me know like what was resonating. Kind of like what's going on here. Like, did this person communicate at all, or are they just silent about this whole situation? Because there's a lot that they want to say. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you will know when I upload. You might have to hit the bell too. I don't really know how it works, but hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and just to be safe. And hopefully I will see you again really, really soon. Thank you. Bye.